So I had some people asking about cutting an inside corner, and I figured I would explain the way I do it. And I have no idea if it's correct or better, but it's worked great. Never had anybody show me. I'm just self-taught for about 30 years now. And here we go. So just regular cutter. I do recommend this style. Fits in your hand so good. You adjust this up or down so that your middle finger is just above it, and it's great for cutting pattern because you can pivot the tip of it around your middle finger and push it around. Works great. So let's start with, we'll just not follow any black mark, but we'll just make an inside corner. I use pretty much any tool that has a curved head with hard plastic to tap out my runs. I don't know if you can see this. So you start in the middle, work your way out. You make sure your cracks are clear through. Sometimes you can just crack partial. That one's clear through. Hard to get my camera to focus. It keeps. So then we're going to there. Now we're gonna cut the other side. And we're gonna try to get our cut completely perfectly on top of that. The least amount of grinding and an easier break. If you can stay as close as possible. So we're gonna flip it over. Same thing, we're going to tap from the center outward. Never start here at the edge. So if you start at the edge, what can happen is if there's any flaw in this run that you make with your cutter, it can take off. So it'll follow along, find that defect in your run and shoot off straight. A crack always wants to go straight. You're trying to trick it into going around the corner. So now what we're going to do is heat it up. So when you're doing inside corners, you're going to want to heat this part here. You don't want to heat this, because what's happening is you're expanding this glass away from this. So you don't want this to heat up, because it'll expand too, and then you end up with tight edges. Make sure that's finished and then. So we're going to heat this. We want it to turn this way, thus opening up this edge. We want this to get longer and pull this apart. So we're going to try not to get, this is denatured alcohol. I assume that's what most everybody uses. It burns slower. If you're doing this outside and it's really cold, back when I used to do road service, you'd have to use acetone, because denatured alcohol won't light when it gets real cold. And when you do light it, it'll burn like in one little spot. So you'd have to either mix it with acetone or burn it once with acetone. Warms up the glass enough so when you put the denatured alcohol on, it will light. So we're gonna heat that up, let her burn. Kind of chilly in the shop today, so that feels pretty good. don't think we're quite warm enough yet. We're going to do one more burn. It's probably warm enough to break if it was a straight cut. But curves, I like it a little bit warmer. So we're probably at around 100 degrees or more. I can still hold my fingers on it. So usually you can't touch anything that's over 120 and hold your fingers on it. So already that's spread out enough that I can move those ends up and down. So what we're going to do, we're going to put these on. Oop, go. Now we'll go straight in. So, just a little suction cup. These are handy for holding up back windows, and so I use this one to hold it off the bed. So you're just gonna put that against it, and this will give you a light pressure. And you don't want to go fast because you're going to break something. But you can already see I can stick my fingernail in there. So you just give it a slight push every once in a while and it'll open right up. And the heat has already opened this up. So just give a little light pressure. Grab a blade. So now we can put a blade in it. And we have this on to hold on, and you just pull it out. And it's just that simple. Hopefully this helps anybody out who's having trouble with them inside corners. I know I've seen some guys cut multiple slits in here with a diamond cutter so they can pull these out as pieces. I've tried that before, and I found this is the easiest way.